tweet.
Yeah. And welcome to the late game halftime with Harmon edition. I am not alone. I am Matt Harmon, but I am joined by one Jared Quay.
Yes, sir.
Jared is the host of The Rush here on Yahoo. Jared, can you tell the people real quick what the hell is The Rush?
The Rush is the show that you should be watching right now. It's your quickest.
Not right now, after this is over.
No, you can watch it even when this is going on. Just get another computer screen or whatever. It comes out Monday through Friday. Great episodes to get you all your sports crunched in, the fun, cool stuff. We give it to you in 2 minutes, maybe sometimes a little more when I'm having a good episode. But you should watch it. If you do, tag me. I'll write back to we'll become friends.
Yeah, it's at Jared Quay on Twitter. You also have, I'm just going to give you the floor to do this now because I know you got to get it in every edition.
I want to brag.
You have a rather well-known brother.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I got a brother named Raj. He's a very good person in Arizona. He knows people. My brother Severin's a firefighter. My brother Jamar lives in Denver. Shout out to Jamar. Oh, you're talking about Calais.
Yes.
My brother Calais. Yes, I got a brother that's kind of like an NFL player. He's really tall, really big, sacks people a lot. And he was like Defensive Player of the Year in some categories last year. So, yeah, he's pretty good.
He is a good football player. Some football players who are not playing so well right now, the Los Angeles Rams in the Superdome. Pretty unexpected result, I guess. I thought the Rams would actually win this game. Who was your pick coming in?
I definitely think the Rams, they might win. You never know. They have a really, really good offense. They can score points at will. It's just their defense isn't playing. You gave them 35 points at halftime. Obviously one of those touchdowns was they gave the ball back in the red zone. They scored at the end of the half. But you got to step up there. You know, you got a really talented run-stop defense, and it's the pass defense that's having the trouble.
Yeah, for sure. I think what's interesting about the Rams coming into this game, obviously, it's hard to poke too many holes in them. They're undefeated. Their offense is unbelievable. Of course, their defense, across a number of metrics, not very good. I know you are a former defensive player yourself. Let's not mince words there. What do you think are the issues on the defensive side of the ball for the Rams?
I think, honestly, it's the fact that the offense is so good that they don't really understand it. Like, we give up a couple points to offense to save us. They have the talent there. You know, Marcus Peters is a great corner. Sue and Donald create tremendous inside pressure for the pass rush. And they even added Fowler now. So I think they have the tools. It's just more or less, they'll tighten it up, obviously, because in the playoffs, that kind of stuff doesn't fly. So they're going to need to get the right answers in order moving forward. But right now, it seems to be working for them as they're undefeated until now they're down by 21.5.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to recover. Obviously, that could totally happen. Brandon Cooks made a nice long play in this one earlier.
When can Cooper Kupp get involved, man? He's back, man. Come on, fantasy users. We need Kupp. Kupp scored 2 touchdowns.
It's a little tough to always trust a player coming in right after a long injury absence, but with this game, I was comfortable playing because the over-under was so high, 60-point total. It looks like we do have a good script going forward for that to actually hit the over in this game. We've got a couple questions from the chat. I want to hit a Facebook question right now. Dalvin Cook, status looking good for the rest of the year. I actually saw this come out from the Next Gen Stats Twitter account. He hit 22 miles per hour on his 70-yard run in this game that happened earlier against the Lions. That was the fastest any running back has hit all year, which is pretty impressive coming off a hamstring injury.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he had enough time to rest it. They haven't rushed him back in there. He's a big breaker player. I mean, in college, we haven't seen too much of him in the pros outside of the 5 games that he played. But definitely, when he does get going, he can move pretty fast. And so I look forward to Dalvin having a great stats throughout the rest of the season.
I got to talk to you, too, about this L.A. Chargers-Seattle Seahawks game that's going on right now. What did you think about the Seahawks coming into this game? Because I got to tell you, Seahawks Twitter was starting to feel themselves again. Despite being 4-3, they're putting out all these hype videos. They're starting to go nuts. Do you buy into the Seahawks? Do you buy into the Chargers? Are either one of these teams, right now we got the Chargers ahead 19-10.
I like the Chargers. I think the Chargers are one of the best teams out there. I think they've lost 2 games. They're 2 games they lost to the Chiefs and the Rams, 2 very, very good teams. But also, going into Seattle is one of the toughest places to play. So I knew this game would be more competitive than people think, but I definitely think the Chargers can pull this one out.
Yeah, and you'll be shocked to know the LA Chargers, as we're talking, just missed a field goal. I know that's stunning because they're known for their stout special teams.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, pretty rough. Jared, coming into this late set of games, what's like your biggest headline of the week?
Of the week, my biggest headline is that, Mahomes, he's my headline every week. I got him on my fantasy teams, and he's carrying my team. He's putting my team on his back. Mahomes is unstoppable, man. it's kind of like he's like the towel of the NFL, man. He doesn't have to throw the ball in the fourth quarter oftentimes because his team's scoring so many points. But 4 touchdowns, like consecutive games and 300 yards a game, I don't know if he can keep it up. But right now, Mahomes is the hottest thing. And he's looking like the next Aaron Rodgers and Brady. That's what he's looking like.
Aaron Rodgers is a really good comparison for him, I think, because you look at some of these precision passers like Drew Brees, Tom Brady, you mentioned. Those are guys who are like going to go on these long drives, pick you apart. But Mahomes is more of that Rodgers type of player that he can improvise outside of structure. He makes plays on the move. He's obviously got a great deep ball. Do you think right now he's the MVP? If you have to cast an MVP with the ballot right now,
absolutely.
I'm 100% with you.
Him or Gurley, but Gurley has so many other weapons that you got to go with Mahomes. What he's doing there is if he can keep this up for the whole season, this is record-breaking season.
Yeah, speaking of the Saints who we're talking about right now, I think I would go with Saints, Drew Brees, number 2. And then Gurley as number 3.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Brees has had an incredible year.
I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Brees. He's doing amazing. He's hit the 5, but a lot of those are like, I feel like his biggest headlines are his career numbers are great. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, he's definitely like a compiler. I mean, all these records are going to fall. Like, going forward, it's going to be awkward when, you watched that game on Monday night against Washington with Drew Brees, and you would have thought like he was, I don't know, getting elected president or something with how he was being praised. But it's going to be awkward when like Matt Stafford breaks those records in like 8 years,
I just feel like Matt Stafford's the one that he's sneaky good. Like he's never been like a player you watch, you're like, man, this guy's amazing.
Yeah.
But he just puts up consistent, pretty good stats for a long period of time. So I don't think it'll be as big of news like Brees came back. He won a Super Bowl. Brees is that.
That's what I'm saying is like all these, the records as you mentioned, like the compiling records, just the pile up numbers. Those records are all going to fall. So what's most impressive to me with Brees this year is obviously the Saints are winning. They've only lost 1 game.
We got a comment saying Gurley's MVP in the discussion.
I don't know about that. See, to me, it's the quarterbacks are always more important than the running backs in the MVP discussion.
The offense runs through Gurley. If Gurley's not on the Rams don't win those games.
But see, I don't buy that. I would say that, okay, if the Rams lost Gurley, they could still survive with Malcolm Brown or whatever. I would think they'd be more screwed if Goff went down.
Why does Matt Harmon hate running backs?
What
do running backs do to you? Why do you hate running backs?
I don't hate running backs. I just think they're constantly proven to be the most replaceable position, that you can find them anywhere. I mean, you got a guy, we're watching the Denver Broncos right now. Phillip Lindsay's one of the best running backs in the NFL this year. He's run better than Saquon Barkley. As a pure runner, he's been better than Saquon Barkley. He's an undrafted free agent. To me, it's just situation, offensive line play, quarterback play, building off the passing game is what's important to rushing success more than just the individual running back's talent. It's not to say that Gurley's not the best running back in the NFL or a great player. I'm just saying from a most valuable player perspective, if the Rams lost, like for whatever reason, Todd Gurley just up and quits, or Jared Goff up and quits, I would say they're much more banged in a big spot if it's Goff that leaves the team.
All right. I'm going to disagree with you. As we have in the comment, the same guy said Malcolm Brown,
yeah, just WTF.
I think Matt Harmon's related to Malcolm Brown. That's the only reason to say that. I think Brees is great, but I think Gurley, I mean, obviously last year could have been an MVP season for him, and so this year they might even give him the nod. But I say Mahomes, if he can keep it up, he'd be crazy not to give it to him.
I think we compromise and we give Mahomes the MVP and we give Gurley the Offensive Player of the Year, just like we did last year.
No, you can't give him 2 years back to back.
Why not?
No, that's wrong. It's wrong.
If
he gets Offensive Player of the Year, no, all right, I'll give it to you. I'm not going to argue.
Yeah. All right, so one other thing I want to hit on here, Halftime with Harmon. Remember, you can watch the show on Periscope, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, all the platforms.
MySpace.
Well, let's not go that far. But you can watch it on all these social media platforms. You can jump into the chat and ask us questions, whether it's fantasy questions for tonight's game. Got a lot of implications here, and I'm going to pick Jared's brain about it. You can ask Jared about what it's like to be related to Calais Campbell or whatever you want to ask.
You can ask a question directly. I'll FaceTime him, and we can see if we can get. You think we can get him? He's on a bye week.
Oh yeah, that's right. What is he up to, anyways?
I don't know.
But you can ask Jared any type of question. You can ask me some fantasy questions, like. I really, and this, I mean, you could get out of the chat with this stuff about Alex Smith and comparing it to Patrick Mahomes. Give me a break. All you got to do is watch the games to see that's not an accurate comparison. Before we get to that Sunday Night Football showdown, which I think is going to be a great game, I want to pick your brain about Demaryius Thomas, who I was honestly not expecting him to make a big impact here in his first game with the Houston Texans. But you saw right away, got him 2 catches for 49 yards right on that first drive, made a long play. He's up to 3 for 61. How do you think this impacts the Houston Texans offense going forward?
I mean, obviously, Will Fuller was an amazing piece. I think people underestimate him. Without that, he's replacing that role. I'm just surprised to see that spark in him, but it's rare you get to see a guy in his first game with a new team go against his former team. But he's going against the guys he was talking crap to in practice now, so I imagine this is probably the circled game for him. He was waiting for this for all week, so yeah. I want to see his final stat line, because if it doesn't get 100 yards, it's washed. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, this is like the first time I can remember like a guy going from just a regular game to a revenge game in the course of a week. Really cool to see with Demaryius Thomas. I do think it's going to be fun to watch him progress in this offense and like where he ends up playing, because you mentioned Will Fuller is like a vertical receiver, obviously. Of course, nobody denies that. Demaryius is not quite that player at this point in his career. He's more of like a possession guy. He's gotten a lot better as like a curl route runner, post-up guy, contested catch player. I think we see him be more of an interior receiver, maybe more as the weeks go on, but he's got to learn that's a totally different position. The interesting on the other side of this is Courtland Sutton. Did you like Courtland Sutton coming into the NFL? What did you think of him? He's up to 3 for 57 right now as the direct replacement to
But did you not see him there in preseason? That's why they traded him. That kid, dark horse, I thought he could be offensive rookie. He could be rookie of the year. Obviously, Saquon's going to run away with that. But he's an amazing receiver, and he just seems like he wants it more. I'm not going to say anything bad about Demaryius because he's a great receiver, but sometimes this season it didn't seem like he was putting together that full effort. I mean, there was a game where they lost to the Chiefs, and there was a play that could have dove out for.
Right.
But I definitely think he's a great pickup if you don't have him. He's already on every roster.
He was probably like the hottest pickup of this week, this side of like DJ Moore. But I agree.
No, if he was on any, he was good all year though. He was a solid putting up stats. So
You would be surprised though. He was very under-owned in fantasy, but I think, as you're saying, a lot of people ran out and grabbed him. He was averaging 18 yards a catch coming into this game. He is indeed that big play threat. So I like that call there, Jared. I think even this game, right now it's in the middle of the third quarter, 17-16, up by 1 point are the Denver Broncos. I think we could see a few more points. But with our last few minutes here, Jared, let's hit on this Sunday Night Football
GOAT
game.
versus GOAT.
Well, for one, if you had to take one of these guys right now, which one's better, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady?
Aaron Rodgers. He's
All
younger.
right, that's right. That's right. Correct answer. Suck it, Pats Nation. Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback than Tom Brady.
He's a younger quarterback. He doesn't have the great. I'm not saying his coaching isn't as well as Belichick, because you've seen even when Brady goes out, they still put up the same kind of production. Without Aaron Rodgers, you saw that team. They don't even get 6-7 wins most of the time. So I would say Aaron Rodgers, and that's why I'm excited to see this game. I think actually the Packers could outright beat them.
Wow, yeah, no, I agree with you. I think I'm taking the Packers in this game. I think Packers beat the Patriots. I really like this game from, obviously just a fan perspective, watching it from a betting perspective. I like taking the Packers and the points. I like the over to hit on this game too. I think it will be a shootout. One player I do want to ask you about, because you're former safety yourself, you obviously did a lot of work covering these tight ends. What do you think's been up with Gronk this year? He's been more quiet. His targets are down. He's not getting a lot of looks in the red zone. What do you think the deal is?
I think that if you're playing the New England Patriots, you have a game plan circled around Gronkowski, and you have to make sure you shut him down. If you do not shut him down, you will not have a chance in that game. And teams know that, so they're coming in, putting in 2 or 3 guys and making sure they got his routes, they're reading them. And so it's just easier for Brady to find other players. I mean, if he forced it to Gronk's that good, he probably could come up with it, but it's just more options with some of these other guys that he's not really forcing the ball to Gronk. And that's why it's not like he lost a step. I mean, if you traded him to the Jaguars, which Jaguars would take him, he'd be amazing. He'd be amazing.
No, I think Gronk is maybe he's being bothered by the back a little. He has obviously had a lot of issues. The back was a thing coming into the NFL all those years ago. It was a reason he fell to the second round of the draft. Maybe there's some injury concerns, but he actually might sit this game out. And if he doesn't go, I really think this could be the game where we see Josh Gordon make a big impact for the Patriots. 4 for 42 last Monday night against Tre'Davious White. He's one of the best corners in the NFL. Yeah. He obviously limited him. The Packers actually allow a 103 passer rating on deep throws down the left sideline, which is, of course, where Josh Gordon's primarily been lining up as that X-receiver. I think this could be the game that if you have Gordon on your lineup, maybe you've been a little disappointed in the Patriots' production so far, but I think this is the week for him.
I don't like agreeing with you that much, but I definitely agree. I think it's going to be a lot of points scored, so everybody, if you have anyone on that roster, start him. I think Aaron Jones is going to come out in the game.
That was one thing we just got from the chat. # free Aaron Jones. You like Aaron Jones?
Yeah, he's gonna have a great game. I even think Williams will come out and get a touchdown, probably vulture a touchdown away. But I think that Josh Gordon has a good game. I think Edelman's a great play. I just say, you know what? I'm excited to see great football. I want to see two quarterbacks that are GOAT status to just have GOAT games and both get 450 yards and 5 touchdowns.
It is going to be amazing to watch. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Jared, speaking of fun, thanks so much for joining, man.
Thanks for having me, man. This is fun.
Great.
Yeah, all you guys.
I think we had a lot of fun with this.
Watch The Rush.
Yeah, watch The Rush. You can find it. And we're actually going to be on the Fantasy Rush together here in just a little bit. It's on your Snapchat channels. You can find it there. We're also going to put it on other social platforms as well. So make sure you're watching The Rush every day during the week with Jared. Make sure you're coming back here, checking out the halftime streams every Sunday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Makes them
and
fumble
6
more.
p.m. Eastern Time.
It makes them think
Watch us,
about it
ask
too much.
questions,
And then
watch Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all those platforms I said earlier. Make sure you check out the show. And, of course, follow me on Twitter at @MattHarmon_BYB and Jared at Jared Quay. Tweet us at Yahoo Fantasy during that GOAT off Sunday Night Football and enjoy it. And with
Mahomes for MVP.
Yeah, Mahomes for MVP. We agree. See ya, people.